Hey, welcome to Let the Light in TV. Today we are talking about the Viltrox 56mm f1.4 lens. Now, it is available for the Sony E, the Nikon Z, and the Canon EF-M mounts, but today we are reviewing it for the Fujifilm X mount. So this is an apsc format lens for the Fujifilm X mount that we are specifically reviewing today, although as I just said, it is available for different camera mounts as well. Now, I have seen some debate online as to what does that C badge on the side of the lens stand for. And there's been various speculations, but here is essentially what the C badge on the side of this lens stands for. Think about the Sony G Master series. It is the premium Sony lenses. They have that red G Master logo on the side of the lens. That is essentially what Viltrox has done with their C badge. What does the C stand for? I don't know. They don't clarify that. But essentially what that C badge stands for is to tell you that this is more of their premium line of lens. Now, the price for this specific lens is $299 US. So it's definitely coming in at the lower end of the price spectrum. Keep that in mind as we go about today's review and look at the results. So first, let's start off with the build quality. It's an all metal construction. It has an integrated USB port for future firmware updates, and it also sports a 52mm filter thread. Now, as far as the aperture ring goes, the aperture range is from f1.4 to f16. This is a clickless aperture ring, and the aperture ring also features an A, which would stand for automated or automatic aperture-based selection. And there is no hard stop in the rotation of that ring, so you'll just fly past a 16 and go to automatic. So just something to be careful of if you're going to do aperture racking, because again, it is a clickless aperture ring. Now for the focusing, it does have a stepping autofocus motor. The minimum focus distance is 0.6 meters, which equals out to 1.97 feet. The focus breathing is present, but it is ultimately minimal. It's not that noticeable. Now, chromatic aberrations. This is something that Viltrox, in my opinion, generally does struggle with. Every Viltrox lens that I've used, this does tend to be their weak point. And for this specific 56mm lens for the Fujifilm X mount series, sometimes it dealt with chromatic aberrations great, and sometimes not so good. So let's take a look at the first example. Of course, this example is not going to show the most wonderful report because we're shooting against the sun. And so you can see that the outline of the branches here, you have both of that magenta and green hues. They're definitely showing up. And so in this particular case, you know, the result is not that great. But let's move on to these plant leaves. With the window in behind, we're not, shooting directly into the sun this time. And you can see it certainly becomes much less. It's still a little bit present, but it's certainly a lot less. Then, if we finally take it out into a real world scenario and look at the image quality here, I've grabbed a still from this little video. And so if you take a look at this still, this is a real world scenario out on the golf course. I've pulled a frame from this clip and you'll see there are no aberrations to be seen. You can look along the golf club shaft. There's nothing there. You can go and try and spot some aberrations in the branches, but you're not going to have any luck. And so this image looks wonderful. You can also see that our subject is in focus. We've got some nice little bokeh going on off of the tops of his shoulders there. The background is just a touch blurred out. I think that this is a beautiful shot right here. Yes, in testing, I am putting it through harsh scenarios. I've got the sun directly behind the leaves. Well, how often are you going to be doing that? Probably not too often if you are, trying to create a good image. No lens is going to stand up perfectly under that kind of test. And so whenever we bring it out into real world use, this Viltrox, I think, performs really nicely. As far as lens flares goes, it handles lens flares incredibly well. You can see it, going across the sun here. Now, whenever you do close down to f16, you're not going to find that you are going to have any defined sun stars. So if you're looking for sun stars out of this lens, you are going to be disappointed. So let's close things up. Let's wrap it up here. This is just a quick overlook of the Viltrox 56. It has a bright f1.4 maximum aperture, which really suits it to working in a wide variety of lighting conditions, right? 1.4 to 16. So you're giving yourself a wide variety of workspace. It allows you to have great control over depth of field. We see that our subjects are in focus. I believe this lens is pulling some nice detail out of the images as well. You know, you can see the grass kind of swaying from the wind in there, and it looks like it's got some nice detail. You can look out at the trees over across the river, and it's pulling some nice sharpness out there. And so I think for a $299 lens, 56mm f1.4, I think this is coming in at a really good deal. It does have those chromatic aberration flaws, but again, kind of with all Viltrox lenses, just close it down a little, or just don't shoot directly into the sun and you'll be all right. The images that came out from this lens looked really nice to me. If you want some more detailed information about this lens, you can click here. Go check out Dustin Abbott's review of the lens. If you want to purchase it, the links are down below. Got a bunch of different stores down there. Whatever you want to go to, that is up to you. All right, that's it. I hope this video was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and remember to let the light in.